Students, in Geography Chapter 4, Agriculture, today I will teach you about agriculture, farm system, types of farming, subsistence farming, and commercial farming. Farming is India's biggest industry. Over 68% of India live in villages and farming is their primary activity and source of income. There is a process involved from obtaining the raw material to cleaning, processing, packaging, transportation, and sales till it reaches the end user. If we divide this process, you will find three types of economic activities, and they are primary activities, secondary activities, and tertiary activities. The primary activities involve production or extraction of the natural resources. Activities like growing crops or doing agriculture, fishing, rearing silkworms, and collecting silk, etc., are primary activities. Secondary activities involve processing of the natural resources. For example, flour obtained from the wheat plant is baked into bread. There is a baking process which converts the product obtained from natural resources into a finished product. Tertiary activities provide support to the primary and the secondary activities through various services like banking, advertisements, insurance, transport, tourism, etc. Now about agriculture. We have seen that agriculture is a primary activity. The word agriculture is derived from the Latin words ager, meaning soil, and culture, meaning cultivation. Agriculture, also called farming or husbandry, is the cultivation of animals, plants, fungi, and other life forms for food, fiber, biofuel, drugs, and other products used to sustain and enhance human life. 50% of our world population is engaged in agriculture. In India, two-thirds of its population is engaged in agriculture. Agriculture or farming may be termed as a system. This is because it has certain inputs, processes, and output involved. A farmer uses seeds, fertilizers, and equipments to grow plants. These are his inputs. Even the laborer who will work on the fields are a part of input. To grow plants, he needs to carry out plowing, seeding, weeding, and harvesting. These are the agricultural practices involved. The final output includes crops and fruits. There are many ways in which agriculture is done throughout the world. This depends on the geographical location, climatic conditions, availability of labor, and technology. Based on this, agriculture or farming can be broadly classified into primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, commercial farming, and plantation farming. Subsistence farming is self-sufficient farming in which the farmers focus on growing enough food to feed their families. Nearly all of the crop or livestock raised are used to maintain the farmer and his family, and if anything is left, it is traded. There is not much technology used here, and the people of the family themselves act as laborer. Subsistence farming can be of two types: intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming aims at maximum possible production on limited farmland. It caters the need of the farmer's family and local market. Small land holdings, preliminary mechanization. It is capable of raising one crop in a year. This is practiced in thickly populated regions like Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and parts of Rajasthan. The crops that are grown are wheat, rice, and millets. Primitive subsistence farming includes two kinds of farming practices. They are shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation is also known as slash and burn agriculture. This kind of farming practice is seen in areas which have thick forest and heavy rainfall like the Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia, and Northeast India. In this type of agriculture, a patch of forest land is cleared by a combination of felling and burning, and crops are grown. The ashes of the trees are mixed with the soil to increase its nutritional value. Once the fertility of the soil begins to decline, the land is abandoned and the farmer moves on to clear a fresh piece of land elsewhere in the forest. Crops commonly grown are maize, yam, potatoes, and cassava. Nomadic herding is a type of agricultural practice in which the farmers do not settle in one place but continually move with their herds to different pastures. This type of practice is confined to sparsely populated parts of the world where the natural vegetation is mainly grass and the rainfall is low and seasonal. The most commonly reared animals are camels, sheep, yak, and goats. They provide milk, meat, wool, hides, and other products to herders and their families. It is practiced in the Sahara region, Central Asia, and some parts of India like Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. In commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for commercial purposes. In commercial farming, the farmers grow crops and they also make use of machines and equipments. There are three types of commercial farming: commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. In commercial grain agriculture, crops on a grain farm are grown primarily for consumption by humans rather than by livestock. Wheat generally can be sold for a higher price than other grains and it has more uses as human food. Because wheat has a relatively high value per unit weight, it can be shipped profitably from remote farms to the markets. This type of farming is practiced in the temperate grasslands of North America, Europe, and Asia. Farms are usually highly mechanized, capital intensive operations are done. Several technological innovations precipitated in the growth of large scale grain farming. Machines such as combine machine is used to complete all three processes of reaping, threshing, and cleaning. Mixed farming is a system of farming on which a farmer uses different types of agricultural practices together on a single farm with a view to increasing his income through different sources. For example, a farmer may use the land for growing food and fodder crops and rearing livestock as well. It is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. Plantation agriculture is a commercial tropical agricultural system which is essentially export oriented. It is mostly practiced in tropical and subtropical regions like Central and South America, Southern and Southeastern Asia. The crops are grown to be sold often in distant markets rather than in local markets. In this kind of farming, the farms are very huge. Large amount of labor and capital are required. There is a good transportation network in the area which enables the goods to be transported immediately. Crops which are grown are tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, and cotton. So, in plantation agriculture, a single crop is grown over a large area. There is well-developed network of transportation and communication connecting plantation area, processing industries and markets together. Production is mainly for the market and not for the farmer's self-consumption. It involves modern inputs like chemical fertilizers, insecticides, and pesticides. Here, modern machinery is needed and it is very labor intensive. Thank you for watching the video.